What it do, crew excellence? It's your boy Justin Strickland, and I'm back with another episode of The Ladder. Man, I got a great one for you today. Today is all about how Cenat did Streamer University in a way that was crazy. Like the whole ideal, like renting out a college, bringing in streamers from all over the world, and just teaching them and pouring into them was an incredible display of, you guessed it, leadership. And so today we're going to break down 3 things that Cenat did that you might not realize he was doing, but if you paid close attention, you would have learned what excellent leadership looked like. And so if you hang around today, I'm going to break down all the things that he did and how he did them in a way that was effective so that you can use them in whatever area you're leading today. And so I know if you don't know, shout out for all my old people. If you don't know, Cenat is one of the top streamers in the world. Some people estimate he makes about $1 million a month streaming on Twitch and YouTube. And that sounds crazy because it is. But he's a fun-loving kid. He's around 23 years old. He brings on Kevin Hart, Drewski, lots of different celebrities, and they just hang out in his bedroom and they have a great time interacting with the chat. And it's really unlocked a new form of media, a new way to create, and he's done it better really than anybody else. And so if you don't know, now you know. This is someone that you should understand who he is. And what I love about him is he seems to be a good dude. Like, he seems to have his head on straight. He seems to be humble, down to earth, and he seems to just exude joy. Like, when I think of Black Boy Joy, I think Cenat is the picture that should be by that statement. And so if you are ready for that, let's get to it. But before that, this is the Ladder Podcast. This is a place where you learn, where you grow, where you can lock in and become the best version of yourself. Because we believe that when you are the best version of yourself, the world is a better place. So make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, because this is a place for you to be great and to become excellent. And I don't want you to miss out on that. Turn your noti bells on. I'm excited to pour into you today, as I am every week. This is free content and value. Come on, man. What you waiting on? All right, let's get back into the episode. All right, so Cenat did something recently called Streamer University. And what he did is he took what his expertise was, which is streaming, and he turned it into a lesson plan, a curriculum, right? And shout out to all my teachers out there. He turned his expertise into a curriculum. This is some side note. This is something that we all should be doing anyway. Too many of us have expertise and we don't know how to monetize it. We don't know how to use it to invest or to help people. And all you have to do is take what you know, take some time to put what you know down into a PDF, into a YouTube video, into a podcast or a webinar, and give away some of this value. Like, stop holding on to it, pass it off to people who could use it. All right, back to the main course. So he started Streamer University. It was a unique hand-on learning experience where the streamers got to go there and they streamed all day, every day for I think it was about 5 days. And they were live, they were talking to chat, they were walking around with their devices. And it was I could tell this, from being at 2 YouTube events, there is something about being around other creatives that just is inspiring. Just even just being around them as someone who creates is like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like, we can do this. We should do this. And it's an energy you get from being around other creatives. And so that in and of itself was a genius move, was to bring everybody together in one spot. And it caused people to collaborate, to network. And it was incredible the way that he was able to do that. Not only did he do that, he uses people, right? And so that brings me to my first point. So I remember I told you I had three things he did. The first thing he did that was excellent leadership was he delegated. Cenat had about 30 different streamers that were professors at Streamer University. And these were people in his network, people he's done streams with, people that he's collaborated with, people that he knew could provide value for the students in Streamer University. And so people like Duke Dennis, Agent Zero, Ben the Don, just some of the names of the people that taught classes at Streamer University. And what I loved is they took it serious. So like Duke Dennis, they was running they played basketball, they was getting up and down, and it was legit game. Agent was teaching real classes. If you haven't caught Agent Zero's classes, go to his YouTube because he streamed them live, but he cut them up and put them on YouTube. Those classes are amazing. Like those are high level like courses when we talk about streaming and how to make money and how to monetize and do brand deals. It was incredible content, and they took it serious. Ben the Don taught a class on tricking, and it's hilarious, but it made sense. And I was like, oh, I actually learned something in this class. And so I think that delegation is one of the hardest things to do as a leader. And one of the reasons delegation is hard is because most leaders think delegation is only offloading tasks, but it's so much more than that. Delegation requires empowerment, it requires trust, and it requires the people you're delegating to multiply your effort. So let's take a streamer university understanding it, right? One of the professors was DDG, and this fool got in a fight with one of his students. Honestly, with content, I don't be knowing if it be staged or real. Just being honest, I'm old. I can't tell sometimes. But it was funny because Kai like brought him into the office and was like, "Hey, bro, you can't be fighting students." And to me, it was a great picture of delegation because when you delegate, you have to allow people to fail. Which is one of the reasons why people struggle to delegate. Is because they're like, what if they don't do it? What if they fall short? What if they make a mistake? You have to live with that. You have to live in that tension of not giving off too much to where they're going to fail, but giving off enough to where they could, but they could also succeed. And so you have to trust the people you're delegating to, which I thought was evident with the person that I thought you could really see that with was Agent. Like, I remember Agent from when he was a 2K YouTuber. And so to see him teaching classes in Streamer University was kind of a full circle moment for me personally. And to see the wisdom he had and how he taught, I was like, oh, it makes sense why Kai would trust him as a professor for Streamer University. And one thing about delegation that I want to highlight is one of the reasons Kai was able to delegate well is he had full ownership. And so Kai talked about Netflix, Hulu, Tubi, and a few other platforms tried to buy this idea from him, and he said no. And one of the reasons he said no is he wanted ownership. Because when you have ownership, you can delegate well. You don't have other people in the kitchen trying to tell you what to do. You know who needs to do what so that this can be successful. And I think we saw that for sure in Kai's video and the things that he was able to do with his professors. When you delegate, you got to get out the way. So what I love about it is Kai got out the way. He was the headmaster. He had a headquarters, and the headquarters was dope. It had everybody stream up. It was super dope. But he didn't teach the class. He didn't go in and make and change what they were doing. He let them work. And because he trusted their abilities, and that's what you got to build. You have to build trust with the people you're serving with. Because if you don't trust them, you'll never delegate properly. And if you don't delegate properly, you will lose people. You have to delegate because you have to empower. Not allowing people to lead, not allowing people to grow, to succeed or fail. You hinder their opportunity to be their best version of themselves. You are your best version of yourself when there's something at stake. When you're just going through the motions, you cannot be excellent. You can be good, you can be average most likely, but you cannot be excellent. You can only be excellent when there is something at stake and you have to rise to an expectation. You have to rise to the level of what is possible, okay? And I think Streamer University was a great example of that. Agent probably never in his life thought that he would be a professor, right? But when he got in front of the classroom, he was absolutely excellent in the way that he taught the information and the way that he did the class. One of the things he did was he gave away 3 brand deals in his class. And that was not something Kai did. Agent said, hey, who hasn't got a brand deal? I got 3 brands that wanted to work with me. I'm going to make them work with you. And we're gonna show you how to do brand deals. That's not possible if Kai doesn't trust Agent with this class, with this premise of being a professor. Like, that doesn't happen. And so by getting out the way, you allow the people you're delegating to be excellent. I love it because it reminds you as the leader, there are leaders in your midst. A lot of times we forget that other people are leaders too, that they have opportunities, they will show up. But we are so busy trying to lead that we don't step back and let others do it. which is what leadership needs to become. You have to become a leader that allows others to lead, because that is ultimately the goal of leadership, is to develop other leaders, okay? So this is something that you all can do today. And this is something that I thought Kai did very, very well. He didn't micromanage. He set the vision. He built a platform. And then he trusted his team to execute their parts. And this is what that made the project scalable and successful. And I highlighted scalable because too many of us are stuck and we're not able to scale because we're unwilling to delegate. And I'm talking to myself, okay? But we have to delegate tasks to other people because it frees us to be who we're supposed to be and do what we're supposed to do. If Kai was a professor, he could not have been the headmaster, okay? And he needed to be the headmaster because that was intricate into how the whole university worked. And so that's something that we definitely need to learn. The second thing that he did that we can learn about is reward. He hosted an award ceremony at the end of Streamer University. And I thought this was so dope. And he gave away awards as the most social, as the most improved, the best professor, and the list goes on. And these rewards were so intentional with how he picked the people and what the title of the award was. And it just reminded us that just giving the people a little bit of recognition goes a long way. Right? Just a little bit of recognition goes a long way. This was a 5-day university without any degrees or any certificates, but just holding this award ceremony acknowledges to these people there, hey, I see you and what you're doing matters and you have value. This is something that we all can do. This is something that we all can do because this is something that does not take much. It just takes you paying attention. And that's what thing Kai did. He had the streams up, and what he was doing was paying attention to what was going on so that he could encourage and reward. Not so that he could criticize or to correct, but he was paying attention so he could encourage and reward. And that's something that as leaders we all can do. Because you got to think, they were already getting things from being at Streamer University. Some of them gained 15,000 followers. I saw somebody, I think DDG gave like 100,000 followers. Like, people were already being rewarded for being at Streamer University. But Kai said, that's not enough. I want to acknowledge you within the midst of the people who are here. You have still stood out. And he took time to show them love in that way. And too often we get caught up in the grind of the day-to-day chopping, I say chopping wood. We get caught chopping wood and we forget to look up and admire what we've already accomplished and recognize those that have helped us accomplish it. And so one thing you can do as a leader today is come up with some award that you can give out every Friday, that you can give out every morning, right? Just something. It don't have to be crazy. Just something that says, hey, I see you and I appreciate you. Right? The best reward is money, but hey, that's between you and your boss. I don't know what your budget looking like. But if you can just say, hey, you've worked crazy hard on this project, and I want to acknowledge you in front of everybody that the work you do matters, and we value you here at this company, and I can't wait to see how you continue to progress. That goes a long way in just keeping someone satisfied with the ideal that they're not being taken for granted, that they're valued. Being valued is such an underrated thing. If you do any job studies, almost a large number of people do not feel valued at work because leaders don't do what I just did. They ignore it. They think it's beneath them. They think because they're dealing with adults that they don't have to. With adults, you might have to do it more. You gotta acknowledge your people, and you gotta step outside of your comfort zone to reward people for what they do. This is something that is a top tier like leadership skill. Like the best leaders do. Think about professional athletes. What do all professional athletes get if they play well? MVPs, all conference, all pro. They get bonuses in their contract. And these are full-grown adults who acknowledge, hey, being recognized as being the best at something, as being great at something, is ultimately the goal. Like, if you ask a guy or a lady going into professional sports, like, what's the goal? I want to win multiple MVPs. I want to win multiple championships. Those are rewards. Those are recognition that I am competing at a great level, that I am excelling in my role. And that's something that you can't take from people, but you can give to them. And I love that there were specific prizes. Like I said, I thought I watched it. I just watch clips because I can't watch streams. I'm too old. I feel like I've aged out of like sitting down and watching entire streams. But I can watch clips, and I love the clips. And I got to see clips of the people getting recognized, and I learned who people were and all of that through the clips of them being recognized. And I'm like, oh, this is super, super, super dope. And the last thing, so the first thing was delegation. The second thing is reward your people. The third thing is inspiration. Now, this is something that's underrated. Too often, we get to a certain level of success, and we think our success alone should inspire people. But that's not necessarily how it works. It can, but it doesn't always, and it's not intentional. What Kai did by inviting people to Streamer University was he acknowledged that he sees them. And with streaming, this is so important because I think streaming it gets glorified, but it is work, man. It is hard work to stream every day, to talk to 3 people, to talk to 10 people, to talk to 0 people as if they're there. It is hard to move around your schedule, to be on time, to get on there, to play your game, to talk to go show up to other people's stream and get cross-platform. Like, it is not easy to be a streamer. And there were so many streamers that he invited to Streamer University who like, man, I've been streaming for 3 years every single day. And I ain't got over 1,000, you know what I'm saying, subs. I've been streaming every day, and I ain't got over 100 followers. Like, I've been streaming every day, and nobody watching. And Kai was like, but I see you, though. And I see you, and keep going. And that is for a lot of people. I saw this one girl, and she was like, man, I was about to quit. Like, I applied for Streamer University. I was about to quit. And getting in changed my life. And millions of people applied. Like, they shut the site down. When he opened up application, the site got shut down. So shout out to Kai for even going through all those applications and his team and picking the people, because I know that wasn't easy. But the people that got to go, and even the people that did, this was the genius in Streamer University. And this is what I said, this was the absolute masterclass of leadership. He inspired those that got chosen. But even if you didn't get to go, you know what you got? Hours of free content. Hours of free content. They put the classes online. Everybody was streaming the whole time. So you saw their interactions. You saw the people they were working with. You saw how they were being encouraged and inspired and motivated. And you yourself, if you wanted to be a streamer, just watch the clips. Watch the highlights. Hop in the stream. And you can still get value even if you weren't at Streamer University. And so the genius in what Kai did is he not only inspired the people there, he opened it up. He took, there's no paywall. He made it accessible to anyone to get inspired, which I think is fire, because what Kai knows that a lot of other people don't, and this is like a income thing. The wealthy know investing money is always the best option because it's gonna come back. So Kai didn't charge nobody for Streamer University. He put up the bread. And I saw some reports said it was around $3 million that he put up of his own cash for the food, for the lodging, for the flights, all of that. What he knows is now he can go to brands, right, and be like, look, this is what my Streamer University did. What are you talking about? 30 million views? 40 million views? Come on now. If that attention is currency. If I can say I threw an event, I got 40 million views in 5 days. You want to put your name on it? Sign me up. How much? Blank check? Bet. Like, the brands and all, this is something that is repeatable. Like, what he did, he had to own it so he could prove it. This is called proof of concept. He owned it. He showed proof of concept. So now he's able to take this and repeat it he won't have to put $1 up ever again. He won't ever have to put another $1 up to do Streamer University. The brands will pay for it, okay? And so even that in of itself is inspiring, the way that he did it. And so it's one of those things that Kai, and it's so crazy because he's so young. For him to understand these things, one, I know he has wise counsel. He gotta have some people around him that are really helping him. and just giving them wise counsel. The Bible says in the multitude of counsel there is safety. And so I know he has some people around him that's giving him wise counsel, but he also is courageous. To inspire people, you have to be inspirational. And it took courage not to sell this to Netflix. It took courage not to sell this to Tubi or Hulu. It took courage to say, I got the bread, I'm gonna put it up, and we gonna run it. Me and my homies. I believe we can do it. That takes courage, man. Like, to take on the insurance, to take on, like, to even say, I'm gonna take the applications and sort through them. That takes courage, man. And so that is inspirational. And he did it by example. Kai streamed the whole time. So he wasn't expecting them to do something he wasn't doing. What's so crazy, I was telling my wife about this. He did Streaming University. The next day, he was on stream. I'm like, nah, this is like, bro, take a day. Take a day, fam. But because of the hard work that he does, he can require you to do the same without you pushing back, without you being like, nah, bro, you asking for too much. He just asking you to do some of the stuff he doing. And you probably can't even do all the stuff he doing. So just do a piece of it and you might see some success. And so I think Kai did a great job of showing others what's possible. And by inviting different people from different platforms and different areas, you know who they were exposed to? Kai. There's some people who followed other streamers who got there and was like, oh, who's doing Kai? Oh, I'm going to follow him. And so Kai built a following by getting people to move from other followers to him, which is obviously the goal in hosting something like that. And he shared his people. So the people that follow Kai were exposed to other people. And so that kind of like growth mindset is what's required to be an excellent leader. Too many leaders are leading from scarcity. Like, there's only so much money, there's only so much eyeballs, there's only so much resources, and so I got to hoard them and not share them and gatekeep. Kai's the opposite. Man, it's more than enough people to go around. It's more than enough followers, subscribers, it's more than enough attention. Like, there's plenty, bro. Let's share. I put you on some of my piece, your piece, you put me on some of your piece, and let's just cross-platform, let's make it work. And that's one of my goals here at The Ladder. When I bring a guest on, I want y'all to run their stuff up. Go subscribe, go follow them, go look at their products, look at what they doing, because I believe that if I bring them on here, there's somebody that you can learn from or can enjoy or laugh or whatever it is. And I hope that some of their people see them on here and be like, oh, that's dope. I want to grow as a leader too. And they tune in and lock in. And so it's a mutual thing. So it's enough out here, man. I ain't got to hoard nothing. I ain't got to gatekeep. Like, there's plenty of attention, of space on the internet to go around. And Kai understood this and he did that well. So I want to close. I want to make sure I recap the 3 things that we learned from the Cenat Leadership Masterclass, and it's delegation. You got to trust your team, empower them, and leverage their expertise. Reward, recognize effort, celebrate success, and provide opportunities that truly matter to your team. And an inspiration, lead with vision and passion, believe in others, and create an environment for growth. And so this is something that I really, really believe, because I know that if you do these things, you will become a better leader. And if you don't believe me, go look at the numbers from Cenat Streaming University. Just look at the numbers. And don't go to Kai. Go look at the numbers from the other people, right? Kai, the biggest Twitch streamer in the world, not his. Go look at the other people who are at Streaming University. Click their Streaming University streams, their videos, and look at the ones before and compare the numbers. And you tell me if what he did was not an excellent example of leadership. And now, I want to hear from you. Which leadership action do you think you can do this week? Is it delegation? Is it reward? Is it inspiration? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Drop that comment, right? And what I always say, man, is I love doing this and I love giving this away. And this is all I ask, man. If you like this video, then tell me about it. Hit the like, drop a comment, subscribe. We're almost at 300 subs. We might be at 300 by the time this come out. Like, I'm excited. We are growing. I'm finally getting some traction. Shout out to Nate, man. He told me to stick with it. We sticking with it, bro. Like, we finally starting to build something of a community. And I am really, really enjoying it. So if you are, want to be part of Crew Excellence, hit that like button, hit share, hit subscribe, and now you on the team. You know what I mean? Like, you on the team. That's it. That's all it takes. We don't got no other gatekeep. You ain't gonna get no blood. You ain't gonna go through no rituals. None of that. You in. Like, subscribe, share. You in. You part of the crew. All right. And so I'm super excited about just moving forward, and I hope that this episode was something that you could enjoy and something that you could learn from. So, as always, it's been a privilege and an honor to hang out with you, because you could be anywhere on the internet, and I do mean anywhere, but you're here with me for a few minutes of your day, and I appreciate that. All right, man. Peace.